The indie party on Nintendo Switch has been a hit since launch day, and as we eagerly await some highly anticipated gems like Stardew Valley and Golf Story and Hollow Knight and Yooka-Laylee, we thought it was high time here at Switchforce to compile another list of our new top 5 indie games available for Nintendo Switch. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. Gabe is here, and we've done one of these lists much earlier in the Switch life cycle, but a whole lot more has come out since then, and it's become a pretty darn popular platform for smaller games. A lot of support as we see from the indie devs, and we're seeing more and more from the AAA as things like Wolfenstein and Doom move to the platform. But today is all about those smaller games, the indie darlings, the ones we love. So Gabe, kick it off with your number 5 game.
Number 5 for me is going to be Phantom Trigger, a game that gets a lot of comparisons to Hyper Light Drifter just because of the art style and the gameplay. You get a few different moves and you go through varying worlds, fight some bosses. It's top-down action-based, cool music, and a very, very cool story that had me like wondering at the end if this was all real or if it was all just in my character's head because he's crazy. One of the two, and different endings, of course, so I'm not spoiling anything because I'm not going to go into details, but there are varying endings depending on choices you make throughout the game. And if you did like Hyper Light Drifter, although I don't think that they're as similar as everyone else does, they're definitely the same genre. So Phantom Trigger is one that you should check out for sure.
Yeah, I really liked what I played early on. I found it to be a little repetitive, and I didn't get to those multiple endings, but it sounds like that definitely would help its case. I thought the combat was fast and fluid, and definitely a good fit for Switch, so I'm glad that it's getting some love on here. It had a delay, but then it made it out, and it looks like it made it out in style. So my number 5 is going to be something that is a totally different genre, and that's the party game genre. It's the indie party. We got to put a Jackbox Party Pack on here, and I picked number 3. It's a tough choice. I really have a love affair with Drawful. I like the original Quiplash and things like that. But 3 has Trivia Murder Party, and TMP is probably my favorite current game in the Jackbox suite. I'm super pumped for 4, which is hitting later this year, but right now I'm going to give 3 my recommendation. I really like Espionage as well. I think it's an excellent pack, and it's so awesome to be able to play it on the Switch because you can take that Switch wherever, set it up, have everybody whip out their phones, and play big multiplayer games, even if you don't have multiple controllers, which I think is a superstar effect of the Jackbox Party Pack, and something where it's able to provide big family or big get-together fun without a whole lot of investment. Can't go wrong with any of the party packs, but 3 in Trivia Murder Party is a real good time.
Before we get started on number 4 here, Zach, I want to let the people know, let us know what your top 5. These are our personal top 5. I don't think there's any wrong answers here. There are a lot of great indie games. Definitely let us know your 5 in the comments below because we're interested in that. But with that said, let's go on to number 4 for me here, and it's going to be Retro City Rampage, the GTA of the Switch, in my opinion at least. Open world action GTA style game that instead of being like 3D, is in pixel art. Fantastic music, awesome gameplay. You can jump around and stomp on enemies. You can, steal cars. You can do really everything you can do in GTA, except in a much cuter art style. There's still like fantastic humor in the game. A lot of callbacks to 70s and 80s. Pop culture. We have Duck Hunt references in there. We have Back to the Future references. And if you really want GTA on here, this is something that could maybe tide you over until the day that hopefully that happens. And it's a very small game, file size wise. You can easily fit that on your Switch, and there's hours and hours of fun. You can do the story, you can do all the main stuff. There's challenges. There's a ton to do. Plus, Shakedown Hawaii is still coming at some point, so this is a perfect primer for that.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, that one looks super awesome, and while Retro City Rampage is available on plenty of other platforms, super good to take on the go. And the same goes for my number 4, which is Graceful Explosion Machine. I think you're going to find that a lot of the exclusives lean towards the latter halves of our list. But first off, it is a shooter in a little spaceship with a whole lot of sparkle and a whole lot of challenge. I love this one because it tests your reflexes, and I think that for indie games, if you're not going to go story heavy and you're not going to go like pixel art or whatever, I love it when they give you these like score based games. And it was a tough call for me if I was going to put Shifty or Graceful on here. I ended up going with Graceful because I like the replayability. I like high score hunting, and you can go for, I guess, better scores in Shifty as well. But I found more incentive and more pride in my top marks in Graceful than I did in Mr. Shifty. But I really love the look of this game. I think it controls exceptionally well, and it's kind of like that nice in-between game where it's not a mobile game, it's not a full-on, really takes a huge time commitment game. It's like the perfect Switch portable mode game, and one that I've found myself playing a lot when I only have small sessions. So it's not a complicated game. You have a limited moveset and a whole lot of enemies on screen, but it definitely is fun. It's super fine-tuned, and it's wholly recommended for every Switch owner.
My number 3 is the most recent game on the list, Thimbleweed Park. It just came out just a couple days ago. I've begun playing it. We have a Let's Play up on the channel now that you can check out. For those of you unaware, Thimbleweed Park is a Ron Gilbert point-and-click action game, or adventure game, that is available on other platforms and has been for a while, but now it is on Switch. The game plays beautifully, portably, and I'm totally into like the whole mystery of what's going on here. There is some Twin Peaks vibes. There is like even some It vibes. Something weird is going on in Thimbleweed Park, the town of Thimbleweed Park, and it's up to you and the other characters that I won't spoil to solve the mystery. Super awesome. If you like traditional adventure games, few people do it better than Ron Gilbert, and this game reviewed very well at the time of release on other platforms, and the fact that it's on Switch now is fantastic in my opinion. I think that everybody should check this game out. It's on the eShop right now for $20. Some people maybe don't like paying that much for adventure games, but I really like it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm definitely excited to dive in. I'll probably do that later tonight, actually. And not to get too sidetracked here, but it really makes me want a Pretty Little Liars video game.
You're going to be alone on that one here.
Oh, darn. Well, I'm definitely not alone with my number 3, and that is Snipper Clips. This was our OG favorite indie. So many good memories, so much good fun, and frankly, I could see Snipper Clips climbing this list as the rest of the year approaches, because it does have Snipper Clips Plus, that DLC pack coming in November that looks really cool. It adds some variety to the already established challenges, and then brings 30 new ones as well, plus some new art styles, so really pumped to check that out. But back to the base game, it's just such a good time. Now, I wish that some of the 3 and 4 player modes were a little more interesting and a little bit more replayable. I think they kind of missed the boat on that, but the 2-player co-op is perfect, and I was actually playing it just recently with a new Switch player, and they loved it. And the fact that you can make those levels basically as hard or as easy as you want, depending on how antagonistic and how goofy you're going to get with your partner, it just adds a whole nother element of excitement. And I don't know, I still wish we would have got Snipper Clip Joy-Cons. I think Snipper Clips is an overlooked title in the current Switch market space, because people are so hyped for Mario, and we just had Pokken release and Mario plus Rabbids, and there's a lot of great stuff. Don't forget Snipper Clips. Don't sleep on Snipper Clips. Hopefully Plus and putting this thing on retail store shelves will get it some more props, because Snipper Clips is absolutely excellent.
Speaking of excellent, Steamworld Dig 2 is my number 2 game. Another recent release. You have played a ton of it. You have sung the praises of the Steamworld games for some time now. You were very excited for this, and it's finally out. Dot and Fen, very cool little characters. We were looking for the protagonist from the original game, which I didn't play the original at all, and I actually really dig this one. You get it, Zach? Do you get it? I dig it.
It's a pretty good pun there, Gabe. You belong. But I need some drums for you, so we can do some like da-doom-ch, and then you can get some giant toads thrown at you.
The gameplay loop of going down and collecting resources, coming back up and upgrading so that you can make it further down, like, it's super satisfying. The music is great, the art style's fantastic. This is a game that I am like super into, and I can't wait to finish it.
Yeah, if only life was as satisfying as Steamworld Dig 2. Go to work, bring back some gems, cash in for upgrades, go back to work with a smile on your face every day. If only we could all be deep mine diggers. Things would be glorious.
I'm more Fen than Dot, honestly. I just kind of want to see stuff blow up.
Yeah, I got you, Gabe. My number 2 is not about blowing things up, but it can get pretty explosive, especially when you play with me, and that is Overcooked Special Edition. goodness gracious, this game is so much fun. And it's so much fun if the person you're playing with is up for a little bit of antsy, antagonistic, cooperative, slightly competitive action, because it's all about making those recipes as fast as you can, and somebody's got to boss somebody around. You got to tell somebody to go grab the dishes. You got to tell somebody to chop the carrots. You got to make sure that when all of the kitchen moves around you and you're in the right space and people aren't getting blocked off from different sections, and that things aren't burning, and you're cooking the steak just right, and you're not overcooking the soup. It's intense. It's awesome. I know some people have had some issues with some of the performance aspects and some different things with Overcooked. I personally haven't had any, so I can't really comment on that. I just love the fact that it is the special edition, so it comes with the 2 DLC packs bundled in. A big game, a lot of challenges, and it's a really great fit on Switch. It's a little tricky sometimes, I will say, with the Joy-Con, just because it requires some fine-tuned movement of hitting specific tiles when you're looking to drop and pick up your food items, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying it. I think if you haven't played Overcooked, it's one of the most raucous indie games of the last couple of years, and you would be silly, downright silly, to skip out on this one. Totally worth it. It's great for all ages, and I have found it to be the ideal, maybe ideal is a strong word, but a awesome relationship game.
Well, the ideal relationship game is my number one. Snipper Clips, you already talked about it, so yes. I won't talk about it too much more, but, just playing this game with strangers is something that I like doing a lot. And I know that's weird, but it is something I've done a couple of times. I can't say that I go do it often. But, the few times where I have, just talked to someone that I don't know super well and said, hey, have this game here, you want to try it? And, play with them and, just to explain how to play with them. And once they get it, they get it. It's a game that's, super easy to understand. But some of those later worlds, we know from experience, the puzzles can get a little bit difficult. This is a great game for young people as well. Use your mind to do some of these puzzles. Colorful, very attractive price point, plus the fact that we do have the DLC coming in November, like you said, is fantastic. And we talked about Snipper Clips enough. Everybody knows I love this game, so that's my number one.
My number one, Gabriel. You stole my thunder a little bit, but I'm going to dig out even more excitement for Steamworld Dig 2. Let me tell you why I love this game so much. I think that they have nailed the gameplay mechanics, the way it feels in your hands like it was a Nintendo game. And Image and Forms games have been doing this for a long time. Steamworld Dig 1 was awesome way back when. I played it on PC and 3DS. Steamworld Heist is a fantastic game, a whole different genre. It's a side-scrolling strategy shooter. You build a team and take them out and go to work in sort of a non-turn-based, but at the same time stop and go shooter. It's super freaking cool. It's still maybe my favorite in the series. But Steamworld Dig 2 has a brand new art style, and it looks brilliant. I think it just glows on the Switch, quite literally, during some aspects, during some sections of the game, but it really pops off that screen, and you're right, that loop of just going down and coming back and going down and coming back is really exciting. It's packed with challenges as well. It's one of those games where you really can dive as deep as you want or as surface level as you want. You can just rush through and complete the main challenges, although you will have a tougher time than if you search out all of the different nooks and crannies of the mines to find upgrades, find hidden treasures, get better blueprints, use those cogs. And it's one that I can see myself going for 100%. It kind of has that Metroid-y feel, and if you're not able or not interested in playing Samus Returns on 3DS, Steamworld Dig 2 on Switch is a great way to go. It feels like it's a throwback to games that we'd have a lot of nostalgia for, while bringing in new graphics, some new mechanics, and just really fine-tuned controls. That's where I feel they nail these games, is they've got a great world. The lore is consistent throughout. You're seeing returning characters. I'm not going to spoil anything, but definitely ties into Steamworld Dig 1. Some cool boss battles, and I just love all the different customization that you can have. And it's such a simple concept, but they expand upon it so well with different areas, varied environments, some cool little tweaks and twists. And like you said, the dynamics between Fen and Dot, even though it's not like this very verbose plot line, it's still cool, and they're endearing, and I love spending time with them. And it's a great one more game, one more mine, one more square to dig, one more challenge to complete, one more trip back down before I cash out, and that kind of just gotta keep going, don't want to stop, makes my sessions turn from 20 minutes into 2 hours. It's, I think, a stellar game. It's been reviewing super well. If you have a chance to play it on any platform, you should, but if you have a Switch, this is the indie to get.
Absolutely. I love Steamworld Dig 2.
And that will close it out. So let's recap, Gabe. Your 5 games are
Phantom Trigger, Retro City Rampage, Thimbleweed Park, Steamworld Dig 2, and Snipper Clips.
And for me, we have Jackbox Party Pack 3, Graceful Explosion Machine, Snipper Clips, Overcooked Special Edition, and Steamworld Dig 2.
I was going to say, we did make these lists independently, so, we weren't going to be aware of the overlap. We knew that there was going to be some overlap. We just didn't know what and where. So, just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely. Overlap can be a good thing. It just shows the potential of these games to really appeal to a wide base of players. And let us know what your top 5 are. If you like our list, what you disagree with, what you think should have been there, or what you would put there, please let us know in the comments down below. We'll probably end up picking some for comment for, so this is your chance to get in on that action. And we still have more indies to come. I'm personally very pumped for Wargroove and Golf Story. Gabe, I know you are very, 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 very excited for Stardew Valley. You've always wanted to be a freaking farmer.
Yep. You know me. How I got my green thumb. Is that what they call it? Green thumb when you're good
Yes.
at yeah. I have 2 green thumbs, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
2 green thumbs and no release date, but hopefully it comes soon. Also, Hollow Knight. I think that's going to be one that you and I both love, especially after our affinity for Steamworld Dig 2. Plenty of good stuff coming. The Switch is going to be no slouch when it comes to indies for the foreseeable future, so that's awesome. Let us know your take. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day. We love ya. Switch Force out.